cinema peeps.
Happy Tuesday and happy December.
Yeah, it's the holiday season.
Mm-mm.
So whoop-de-doo.
So many sleeps till Santa Claus.
Woo!
We are going to talk about Hallmark films, but just not today.
Yes. We had to postpone a little bit because we need some more time to watch some more films. Mm-hmm. We want to have a full, variety of things to share for our Hallmark episode, so stay tuned.
Right. Unfortunately, Hallmark, they don't, I don't know. I love them, but they don't always have a lot of content, so you need to watch a whole bunch.
Yeah.
We have a little bit more.
It's always a gamble watching them, too, because you never know which ones are going to, stick out. You're going to be like, huh, I feel I'm in the holiday spirit now, and which ones are just, as you said earlier, a snooze fest.
Yes, I passed out. Mm-hmm. And ones that are really good for drinking games, and others where you're like, wow, I think I need to drink more. I can't wait for the rules to pop up for me to drink. I have to drink more to get through this film.
Well, even the few that I've seen, too, I'm just paying attention to some of them, thinking, what are some of the drinking, rules that you've had? Because I'm there's one in particular where I'm pretty sure the last 4 Hallmark movies I watched, the guy's name is Ben. So it's that's got to be a rule.
One of the rules is if their name is related to Christmas, so if it's Holly or Nick or stuff like that, so you take a little. I'm always confused on shots and sips. Because they'll say, "Oh, take a shot of something."
Yeah.
And it's do you mean an actual shot glass or just a quick shot of your drink? So we normally just take sips, especially if you're gonna watch multiple ones.
Yeah.
But then, the guide we found. At the last rule is that if the couple falls in love, you have to finish your drink.
Oh, jeez.
So, and every hour and a half, you're at least finishing your drink.
Yeah.
No choice.
Oh, boy.
And then, we've kind of added on in, previous years, because there was a lot of horse-drawn carriages, and my friend really likes horses, so we're every time there's a horse-drawn carriage, we're going to drink. And I'm
Hell yeah.
Yep, that's fair. That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've stolen from the internet, and we just kind of fluctuate in adding rules over the years.
I told my mom the one you had that you mentioned, I can't remember when you mentioned it, but you said that you were going to put a Santa hat on the corner of your TV, and every time someone's head lines up with a hat, you have to drink. I think that's hilarious. She laughed so hard. She's like, That's amazing.
We're going to do that this year too.
Nice.
Just to see how it goes.
Yes. You need to send me a snap.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry.
It'll be that instance where it's it just gets there and you're like, right?
It'll add a little spice to it,
Yeah, totally.
Especially, again, if you have a really boring one, then it's all right, we're just focusing on, is it going to line up?
Yeah.
Is it going to line up?
Right.
Let's find out. But yeah, transitioning from Christmas to horror, I saw the new Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City film. And I think that's the closest I've watched a horror film in the theater.
Wow, really? Ever?
The closest. Yeah, I think the only other one I was thinking about was the Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. It really wasn't that scary.
No.
It was more oh, this is painful.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I think after that, it was probably Open Water. That's what it was called.
Yep.
Which is more of a thriller than a horror film. So, again, those two are probably the closest of horror I've watched. Oh, boy.
Well, what were your thoughts? I haven't seen it yet. I do plan to see it. But what did you think of it?
I thought for a video game adaptation movie deal, I thought it was great. Maybe as a movie, not so great. If that makes sense.
Uh-oh, really?
Because, what's my thought? There were some really fun shots. There was a lot of shots that were very reminiscent of, 90s video games, which, again, Resident Evil is a video game series. So I thought that was really cool. And I feel like they made a lot of smart choices. Again, it is based off of video games, a series of video games, sorry. And this movie basically kind of takes the first and second game and mash them together.
Oh, yeah?
Which, again, is a smart idea because technically like they do actually happen simultaneously at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So the events of both games are kind of happening at the same time. I think they're like a little bit off time-wise, but yeah, so I thought like that was really smart. So you got to go to the famous in the first game, they're in a mansion being attacked by zombies. So you saw that. And again, the second game takes place in Raccoon City at the police station and kind of in the town. So again, I thought that all kind of meshed together. And then they also paid some really fun homages to like some of the games and with like certain lines of dialogue and stuff. So like that was fun. But I kind of wish it was a little bit longer.
Okay.
It is only like an hour and a half-ish. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's like an hour and 37 minutes. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I kind of wish it was a little bit longer because there was definitely some story aspects from the games that they dropped.
Oh, okay.
But again, I mean, that's kind of fair because again, there's a lot. There's a lot that happens. So, I mean, you can't keep everything, which is totally fine. But there's some stuff where I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that kind of from the games. Oh, and also to be fair, I've never played these games. I've just watched people play them because, as I've just explained, if this is the first horror film I've seen in theaters,
yeah,
bet your ass I've never played a lot of horror games either. But yeah, so there's definitely a couple of like story aspects from the games that they dropped. And I know some people are like, oh, they don't follow the story of the games. But to be fair, the gameplay I've watched, like some of the story is just fucking confusing as balls. Like, can we just admit that? Like some of the Resident Evil games are just kind of convoluted and there's just like a lot to them.
Yeah, I've heard that from people.
You know? And there's, like, a lot of details. So it's like, you don't need a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
To be honest. And, like, some of it just becomes too convoluted for its own good. Also, the games are known for their puzzle aspects. So they did kind of, like, hint to some of, like, they did include some of that in the movie.
Oh, cool.
It wasn't heavily, but yeah, it was really cool. And they had the keys. The keys play a big role because there are, like, certain doors you can't open without certain key shapes. There's, like, a clover key and a diamond key. Okay. And so you see in the movie, very cool. So I think they played some good homages to the games and stuff. Some other times it wasn't so good was some of the dialogue in the beginning was very painful.
Oh, really?
It was, very, like, I get maybe they're trying to go for, like, the 90s feel, I guess, but, whoo, it was definitely, like, some PS1, 2 dialogue, and you're like, Like, literally, there's a scene where Claire Redfield's in the truck, heading to Raccoon City, and she's not saying a single word, and the driver's just like, what'd you say your name was again? Oh, yeah, Claire Redfield. You're going back to Raccoon City. You said you grew up there. And I was like, holy Lord, that is scarier than any zombie in this film. Like, what? So there's definitely a lot of dialogue in the beginning that was just like dumping exposition. Yeah. Uncomfortably. And you're like, ugh. Once we get past that, it's a little bit better. And they did do some very iconic scares from, like, the video games, which is cool. And then they did their own and kind of mashed that into the universe, which I thought was very cool. Nice. But, yeah, I just kind of wish it was maybe a little bit longer just for some story elements to kind of more be fleshed out and some of the scares. I guess the one thing that was kind of a little hard to kind of mesh together was the fact that, in the first Resident Evil game, it was, I think, more suspenseful. Okay. Like, the series definitely started as more suspenseful, but then transitioned to more of the action-y, action horror
the original series.
Yeah, type genre. Yeah. So there was some pretty creepy and very uncomfortable scenes in the mansion I thought was really well, but then you would kind of cut to Raccoon City, which was a little more action-y. Yeah. But to be fair, that is kind of like going back to the game's roots, which is totally fine. Nice. But yeah, I wish there was like it was a little bit longer for some good scares. I thought all the actors did a great job. I mean, I went for my husband Robbie Amell. Yes. So I mean, I was not disappointed. But I guess the only other thing is that they made Leon S. Kennedy's character just kind of weird. Okay. Because I remember one of my coworkers said because they had seen the film that they were like, Leon's very useless. And I was like, well, Can't be that useless. And I was like, oh, holy balls, he is. Like, oh my goodness.
Really?
It's kind of weird, because from the games, it's not that he's useless. It's just that he's like, the whole premise is this is his first day at Raccoon City at working, and then the outbreak happens.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like the worst day ever for him at work. But they kind of make him more, and again, he's like a rookie cop, but I think they maybe played into that too much. They were like, oh yeah, he's like very green, very rookie. He shot his partner in the butt. Blah. And he was very useless to the entire thing. But I mean, other than that, like I said, it's weird. I think from like adapting from the video games, like I thought they did a good job. But maybe as a movie, it could have been better.
Do they have plans to make more, do you think? Or
they're definitely they have an end credit scene.
Oh, do they?
And I saw an article where they talked about how the director he seems like he really wants to. Yeah. And that there's this whole meme thing, because I think it's in the 5th game where Chris Redfield comes back and he punches a boulder. In like one of the boss scenes, he just like fucking punches a boulder and kills a monster, and the director's like, I want to do that. I want to put that on the big screen. And I mean, you know what? More power to you, man. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe depending how well this film does, maybe it will get a sequel-esque type deal. Maybe. But kind of have to see. I just think it's a fun time. Yeah, honestly, you just go to have a fun time.
That's kind of how I see it too. Yeah,
right. You don't go to be like, how accurate is this? Yeah, guess what? It's not going to be. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, they did already make a bunch of Resident Evil movies. Yes, before this with Mila Jovovich. Yes, Mila Jovovich. Thank you. You know, and even those ones aren't accurate to the game series. They kind of just became, I guess the first one, from what someone has told me, is kind of follows it, but then it kind of just derails into its own thing. Kind of deal. And I think someone said they kind of had sprinkles of characters coming in, but like they're not as important to that, at least to that series of movies. You know? So, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was cool seeing it on the big screen. Had some good times, and yeah, I think that's why you go. Nice. You go just to have a good time. Right? Yeah. But I know that's not always what people want, and that's fine. Again, I understand with, like, for Resident Evil, a lot of kids, like, this is what they grew up with. Yeah. So they want to see it represented well. Yeah. And for me, I think for the most part it is, but, I mean, again, I don't have a piece of my soul attached to this. Right, exactly. Kind of deal. Yeah, you still got to remember to go in hoping to have a good time too, because if you're learning from personal experience, if you go into a movie too hell-bent on high expectations, it'll very, very quickly let you down. Right? Yeah. What's my thought? And then, I mean, like, it seems like video game movies are making a comeback. Yeah. You know, you have Uncharted, but I mean, like, I'm excited for Uncharted. Oh, like, totally. To me, we were always talking about it, obviously before the podcast, but we would always talk about, I was like, man, like, these games were, like, made for, like all the shots, like, they do when you're climbing off the cliffs and the camera, like, pulls back and you get to see the grand scale of things. Like, this was meant to be, like, this is, like, perfect for like movies. Like, totally. This is just perfect. Well, and the storyline too, just the the history, treasure hunter, right? I mean, some of the puzzles they could like, we'll see what happens when the movie comes out, but like some of the puzzles they can do, but obviously a lot of the puzzles are more meant for the gameplay aspect of it all. But totally, I'm excited to see. Right. I even said, like, honestly, if you do, like, a treasure mystery hunt, like, I'm there, like, 100% of the time. Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah. I'm like, sign me up, bitches. Yeah, Indiana Jones, the original Mummy, like, any of those types of shows, Da Vinci Code even, I'm there for it, like, yeah. Treasure mystery, sign me up, baby. Hell yeah, yep. I'll be honest, like, at first I was kind of, like, scratching my head at the idea of Tom Holland being, yeah. What's his name? Oh my god, what? Nathan Drake? But I'm gonna give him a chance. It's just because he's coming off
not even off. He's like he's still Peter Parker, right? So it's like you know him and you love him as Peter Parker. So to see him kind of go more into this kind of rugged, like adventure seeker man kind of role, like it's gonna be interesting. He's a little more. He's still very fresh in my mind of the squeaky Peter Parker. So
right, I have to agree. I think it's hard. Like I watched the trailer and he says like, "Yeah, I'm Nathan Drake," and I'm like, "You're Spider-Man." And I mean, it is hard because I feel like they do have a lot of similarities, you know?
Yeah. He like swings on vines and climbs on walls.
Right? But just like that personality where, you know, like, yeah, like Nathan Drake is an adventurer, but I mean, like, at times he's kind of clumsy and all this.
That's true.
I mean, so they do play it up pretty well in the trailers. But I guess I'm also just like, yeah, I want to see how this works, and I want to give it a chance, because again, I think it's hard because Nathan Fillion did that YouTube short, and you're just like, oh, it's perfect.
Yes.
So they're clearly going for a much younger Nathan Drake, which I mean is okay. And again, they have Mark Wahlberg as Sully, which I'm still not sold on. I
guess I could see it as a young Sully, but yeah.
Right. And again, this is me trying, again, because, again, maybe versus Resident Evil, like, I played the Uncharted games, my first video game system that I bought with my own money was a PS3, and I really wanted it because I wanted to play Uncharted. I just remember seeing that, and I was like, I want to play that. They also have Chloe in it, which is kind of weird to me, but to be fair, it's been a hot minute since I played it, but she comes in Uncharted 2. So, but I didn't think
Chloe's the British one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just didn't think they had history that long. Like, I know they did, like, have kind of a history romantically on and off kind of thing, but I thought that was more when he was older. So, again, timeline, I'm not sure where this is going, but at the same time, I also feel like they're probably just trying to pull different elements to make a cohesive movie story.
Yeah.
And I kind of just have to be like, sit back and be like, you know what? Just have to accept this. This is its own thing. Let's just see. And I mean, if it ends up not being good, then it's not good, you know?
No, there's still the games.
Right?
Yeah.
But I will give it a shot.
Yes.
I will give it a shot.
Yes.
We'll have to see how it goes. And then, yeah, they have the live, or not live action, I was supposed to say live action, but no, the Mario, animated Mario film that's coming out. I think it's also
really
2022. Yeah. Everyone's pretty upset because when they announced the cast, which to be fair, I'm only going to see because Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong and Jack Black is playing Bowser.
What? Oh my god. Why have I not heard of this? Holy.
I'm surprised you haven't, but the big thing that everyone's really mad at, and I mean, I think it has fair merits, is that Chris Pratt is voicing Mario. I wish I was making this shit up, but it's... And then, who is it? Anna Choi Taylor is Peach.
Who's Luigi?
I was about to say, I don't remember who's playing Luigi.
Oh my god.
I want to say it's... Why do I feel it's Charles Day or something, or Charles Day?
Charlie Day?
Yeah. I don't think that's... Okay, I'm looking this up because I can't remember. But, yeah, so a lot of people are mad, especially because the voice actor of Mario is still around and kicking, and I guess he's in the movie, but he's gonna be, like, a special character, I guess. So, like, on one hand, like, for, like, commercial reasons, I understand, like, they obviously want to make money, so they're trying to, obviously, as I just announced all the people who are voicing, you know, they want big names to pull in. It's also made by Illumination Studio, which I'm also kind of like, 50-50.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like that's kind of their shtick, you know, and I don't want to single them out in particular, but I feel like for a lot of animated films, right, they're trying to get their very big name actors to sell their films.
Right.
So I feel like unlike maybe traditional films, I think animation films are still a hard sell, you know.
Which I wonder why, and maybe I'm just like not like just don't know about it, but I would think, because I guess when I think of animation films, I think of the kids. It's more of a kid thing, right? So as a kid, I'll be honest, until I was a little bit older, I really didn't care who was voicing the actor or the character. It was more about the character and the story for me. So I guess that's I guess because animation films are not just for kids nowadays, like a lot more people, I guess maybe that's where the pull comes in, but I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm just like, I wouldn't care as a kid, so why not just let it be the original Mario guy?
Right. Although someone else at my work made a pretty good point that maybe this is Nintendo, because I mean Nintendo is notorious for not really sharing their properties.
Yeah, right.
So this is kind of a big deal because Nintendo is very much involved with the creation of this.
Oh, okay.
So my coworker was saying that potentially it could be experimenting, because I mean, unfortunately, people do get old and they die. So maybe it's them testing the waters to kind of like find another Mario voice or see what works in a way. Like, I don't think the entire film is an experiment to see, like, can we change all their voices? But kind of makes sense to me,
I guess. I could see that. I'm stuck on trying to picture Chris Pratt.
Pratt as Mario.
As Mario, like him making the voice. Like, yeah, it's weird.
Right? And, like, not to... I know a lot of people have been shitting on Chris Pratt lately, but, like, I really liked him in, like, the Lego movie. Like, I don't think he's a bad voice actor.
Yeah.
But I think a role such as this maybe is not the best suited. And he also announced that he's voicing Garfield. And I'm just like, all right.
See, I can see that.
This gotta be a weird meme thing happening.
I think it's just because Mario's such a distinct character, right? And I mean, he's a man of few words based off of only knowing him for the video games, but he's so just like eccentric, I guess, in a way, and just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just not when I think of Chris Pratt, I don't think of Mario. So we'll see.
So I was right about Luigi. It was Charlie Day.
Charlie Day.
I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed with myself that I remember that. Yeah. Again, the casting, like some of it, I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm ready for it, and some of it I'm kind of like, eh. And again, Illumination is really a hit and miss for me, and a lot of times it's a miss.
Yeah, because what they did the Grinch film.
Yeah, which I mean was pretty okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't lie. Again, speaking of big voice actors, I only went because Benedict Cumberbatch was voicing the Grinch.
Right, I remember that. I forgot about that.
I could care too less about the story at this point. Like you have the classic animated one, and you have the live action with Jim Carrey. Those to me are the only ones that matter.
Right.
Like this one was literally just because I was like, it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. I guess I'm trying to think. Because really the only other ones that I can think of that are by Illumination Studios are the Despicable Me movies, and I love those. Those are really good. But
Minions. Evil little things. Evil little things.
Yeah.
Well, they also did Secret Life of Pets, which I was kind of excited for because that sounded really fun. But I feel like they had this fun concept, and then they were just like, let's not do anything with it. And it's like, why did I come see this film? And then the other one is Sing, which I feel like I watched, and I just remember being like, yeah, it's a fun time. You know, you go because the actors are singing songs. You're like, oh yeah, I know that song.
Right, yeah.
I remember just the plot being a little weird, and now they have Sing 2 coming out. So, like I said, Illumination for me is a very hit and miss, and majority of the time it's a miss.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I'll probably give it a shot. Like, why the not?
Yeah.
You know? And I'd like to think that it will have some kind of quality standard, again, because Nintendo is working very closely with them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
From what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Nintendo's not always very willing to throw, especially their Golden Boy mascot Mario, around to other people. But, again, kind of dipping back into the games, a game that I really liked for Switch was Mario vs. Rabbids, which is actually a Ubisoft game, but Nintendo gave them the licensing to use their characters and stuff.
Cool.
And honestly, it's such a fun game.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a game genre I always play. It's like a tactical game, but like it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
So I mean, there are instances where they do, and it does obviously work out. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
you know?
Nice. That's cool.
By being super selective, like maybe it will be good, but I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyways, thanks for listening, Cinema Peeps. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
We got some good chats in.
Yeah.
Didn't know this was where it was going. Half the time we have no idea where it's ever going. So, always happy it works out. But if you liked what we talked about today, feel free to leave a comment down below or any ideas. You know, like we said, like 2021 is almost ending, so 2022 is coming around the corner, so we're pretty soon to be taking a break. So if you have any episode ideas, leave them down there.
Yeah, if there's anything you guys want us to talk about or, you know, go into depth more on. Yeah.
Also, feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it that much. And please remember to subscribe, especially in the new year when we come back and start releasing new episodes.
Yeah, it really helps us out.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're not at 100 subscribers yet, so, like, can we get there?
We're slowly getting there. I think we're at 59. We're almost at 60, so...
We need to, if we are at 69, that's the goal. 69. Let's start small. Goal of 69.
69
and
subscribers.
Then we'll go to hungry. We'll go to hungry.
All right, there we go.
But anyways, hope you guys have a happy Tuesday. Watch all the content, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Monkey.
And slip.